Hello, my name is LizzieMae. At least that's what I go by online. My actual name is Beth. I was diagnosed this week with ehlers-danlos, which is a connective tissue disorder. I was diagnosed by my rheumatologist on the first visit to her. She was actually really shocked, apparently, that I have gone this long without being diagnosed. I'm 27 years old. I started having problems about 2 to 3 years ago is when it started getting really bad. I'm very stubborn by nature, which my family's always fussing at me for because they see me struggling and they love me, of course, so they don't want me to struggle anymore. Anyway, things started getting really bad. The pain was really horrendous, and I've started falling. So I do walk with an assistive device. I currently have a cane, and I have brace couture, I guess you could call it. I have some wrist braces and the like that help provide stability, but I, up until this point, had been fighting with my general practitioner who I loved. I absolutely loved this doctor. I'll call him Dr. K online. It's just the first initial of his last name. That's what our family affectionately calls him because he sees a lot of us. But I started seeing him when I was, I want to say 17, because I had a lot of health problems. My senior year of high school, I barely made it out alive. Literally, barely made it out alive because I have celiac disease, which everybody thinks is, oh, it's no big deal. It's just avoid eating a cupcake. It's gluten, whatever. But it was really hard back then because nobody had ever heard of it. My mom and dad were completely on their own when it came to this. I can't even imagine having a teenager that fights every step of the way going, well, y'all must just hate me to take away everything. Because food, you can tell from my double chin, food is so important to me emotionally. I don't know why, but I'm fixated on food. So when you take away all the Little Debbie cupcakes and whole wheat bagels and Subway sandwiches, what have you got left? Jello. That's what we had back then. Poor mom. Anyway, she survived through it. So did I, obviously. But I had barely made it out alive. They didn't know what was keeping me bedridden, what made it so hard for me to think and function during the day, and what it was is my body was so tired of fighting that it just started shutting down because everything I fed it was poison. So once they figured that out, I started getting better. I was able to get a job. I worked in a daycare, which was great at the time. I loved being around kids. I mean, daycare work has its own issues, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but I did enjoy getting back to work. I felt self-worth return, and that was great for me. Flash forward to about 3 years ago, it just started getting bad again, and it was very emotionally distressing to see my health starting to decline again, and I guess I thought maybe if I just power through it and push myself, I'll be fine. Well, the doctor who diagnosed the celiac disease said that for insurance purposes he wasn't comfortable diagnosing yet another condition for me because I do have other conditions which I don't want to talk about publicly, but he didn't want to saddle me with another label, especially because of insurance company. And I thought that was just a load of bull hockey. I was really emotionally devastated at that point because the doctor I trusted to make me better and to fix me was saying he wasn't willing to because of socio-economical problems. So I was telling my family and my friends, and they said, well, you just need to decide what's best for you. Well, that's why I was talking to them, because I didn't know what was best for me. And finally, one of my friends who I met online, she's a peach. I absolutely adore her. She said, well, why don't you see my doctor? So I switched insurance companies with a new job that I started, and I switched doctors at the same time. It was just a rough transition, but a necessary one, because this doctor is energetic and he's willing to fight for me when I have no fight in me. And today is an example. I mean, you see, I'm in bed I have no fight in me today. So knowing that I've got a doctor in my corner that's willing to do that and refer me out, it just means everything. So Dr. M is a completely different type of doctor than Dr. K, and they're both highly recommended by me. I just reached my limit with Dr. K, and I realized that I have the right to have a second opinion, and if I want to, I can go back to Dr. K. I just, right now, I'm pursuing this new diagnosis. So, Dr. M has referred me out to the rheumatologist, and after seeing me this week, she said, I can't believe you're 27 years old, and nobody has ever suspected a connective tissue disorder. She did range of motion exercises on me. Ooh, I shouldn't move that. That really hurt. Okay, but she did range of motion, and the collarbone slipped out of place up in here, and she had to physically push down on it and slip my arm back into joint when I was in her office. So that was fun, and it's always a relief, I guess. If you're gonna fall apart in a doctor's office, right? So she is very energetic about getting further testing done. I've got to see a cardiologist. I've got to get some x-rays done on some of my major joints because she wants to see, I don't know what she wants to see actually, but she wants to see in here what's going on up here, and she wants to see on my lower extremity. My right leg is the worst, so she wants to take some testing on that to see where I'm at. I'm being recommended to physical therapy at a very well-known clinic, which I'm kind of excited about. She thinks that I can regain 25%, about 25% use of my legs. I'm banking on the 25 because she said 20 to 25%, so I'm banking on 25. I want to regain stability. I don't like walking with a cane. Everybody stares. Everybody asks me what happened, did you have surgery? And it's hard to explain. No, I just fall. Or, well, I mean, I guess I could, but then they ask the other questions of why, what's going on? It just opens up a lot of emotional stuff that I'm not right now prepared for. I do feel broken right now. I feel hopeful that I'm finally getting the attention for this, and it's not all in my head. It's not being passed off as all in my head, and it's not being passed off as fibromyalgia anymore, which I knew it wasn't, because fibromyalgia is very real, and I know it goes along with soft tissue and musculatory area issues, but I don't feel like it's the soft stuff that's in pain. It's like deep down in here, especially since it popped out deep. It's like I can't physically touch where it's hurting. It's in there where it's hurting. So to know that I'm finally being checked out for those things is a relief. So I'm LizzieMae. This is real life. I have ehlers-danlos. Today I can't get out of bed, but I do have a full-time job, and I'm taking steps to make sure I can keep it and thrive. I want to keep my life. I want to have a happy life, and I'm not going to let my body having the wrong recipe for collagen stop me. I'm not.